Something big is happening around the NFC North right now, and if you're a Bears fan, this could seriously impact the division heading into the season. There are questions growing around one of Chicago's biggest rivals, while at the same time, the Bears are quietly exploring moves that could strengthen this roster before training camp even begins. And honestly, some of these developments could change expectations for the entire season. So make sure you stay until the end, because there's a lot to break down here. And if you love Chicago Bears news every single day, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts down in the comments, because I want to hear what every Bears fan thinks about this situation. The Chicago Bears may not even be on the practice field in full force yet, but the entire NFC North just got shaken up by a story nobody saw coming. Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs has officially been arrested on multiple charges, including a felony strangulation and suffocation charge, and this situation could have massive implications not only for Green Bay's season, but potentially for the Bears as well. According to reports coming out of Wisconsin, Jacobs was booked on 5 different charges after police responded to a disturbance complaint back on May 23rd. The charges include battery assault, disorderly conduct, criminal damage to property, intimidation of a victim, and most seriously, the felony strangulation accusation. Right now, everything is still in the early stages, but this is no small story. Whenever a star player faces a felony charge, the NFL immediately starts monitoring the situation closely. And Bears fans know exactly how important Jacobs is to the Packers' offense. Green Bay's entire offensive identity revolves around running the football and controlling games through physicality, and Josh Jacobs has been at the center of that plan ever since arriving there. Even with some injury issues last season, he remained the focal point of their attack. And behind him, the depth chart suddenly looks extremely thin. Chris Brooks, Marshawn Lloyd, and a collection of unproven options are not exactly the kind of backfield that strikes fear into opponents. If this legal situation drags into the season or leads to an NFL suspension, the Packers could suddenly find themselves scrambling for answers at one of the most important positions in their offense. And here is where it becomes very interesting from the Bears' perspective. Chicago plays Green Bay twice this season, including a Week 5 matchup and another showdown on Christmas at Soldier Field. If the league decides to move aggressively, depending on how the legal process unfolds, there is absolutely a scenario where Jacobs misses meaningful time. Nobody knows yet if that happens, because situations like these can evolve in many different ways. Charges can get reduced, cases can weaken, or the NFL can decide to wait longer before acting. But the possibility is very real, and Bears fans are already paying close attention because removing a player like Josh Jacobs from Green Bay's offense changes everything about how dangerous that team looks. While the Packers deal with uncertainty, the Bears themselves are actively exploring ways to strengthen their own roster, especially at pass rusher. One of the more interesting developments involves veteran edge defender A.J. Epenesa, who recently worked out for Chicago. The former Buffalo Bills defensive lineman has quietly built a solid NFL career and is still only 27 years old. According to reports, the Bears brought him in last week to evaluate both his physical condition and his potential fit within the defense. Epenesa is a fascinating name, because just a few months ago, he appeared ready to sign a 1-year contract with the Cleveland Browns worth around $5 million. But that deal collapsed after he failed a physical. Nobody knows exactly what medical concern caused Cleveland to back away, which is why Chicago's interest becomes important. The Bears clearly wanted updated medical evaluations and an opportunity to see where he stands physically now that more time has passed. That alone tells you Ryan Poles and the front office are still actively searching for pass-rushing help, despite the off-season additions they already made. And honestly, it makes sense. The Bears' defensive line still has questions. There is talent there, but not enough proven depth, especially when you start thinking about surviving a full season. Epenesa is not the kind of signing that instantly transforms a defense into an elite unit, but he is the type of player who can quietly stabilize a rotation. Before last season, he produced 3 straight years with at least 6 sacks, and his size gives him versatility to play multiple roles across the front. He is physical against the run, capable of setting the edge, and every now and then flashes as a disruptive pass rusher. The biggest question is whether Chicago wants a budget-friendly rotational piece or if they are aiming for something much bigger. Because there are still bigger names floating around the market. Players like Von Miller, Jadeveon Clowney, Joey Bosa, and Cam Jordan all represent higher-end options, but they would also cost significantly more money. Epenesa could probably be signed for half the price Cleveland originally offered him, making him a lower-risk addition if the Bears simply want more depth without committing major resources. At the same time, another pass rusher has suddenly entered the conversation in a much bigger way. Reports surfaced that the Arizona Cardinals have received calls about Pro Bowl edge rusher Josh Sweat after an impressive 12-sack season. There are already signs of tension in Arizona, especially after head coach Jonathan Gannon, who had a close relationship with Sweat dating back to Philadelphia, was fired only 1 year into Sweat's contract situation there. Now questions are starting to grow about whether Sweat truly wants to remain part of a rebuilding situation. For the Bears, this becomes extremely intriguing because Josh Sweat is exactly the type of proven pass rusher who could dramatically raise the ceiling of this defense immediately. Unlike some of the cheaper veteran options, Sweat is still highly productive and coming off one of the best seasons of his career. The issue, of course, would be trade compensation. Chicago would likely need to part with meaningful draft capital to make something happen, and that is where the debate begins. Would you rather see the Bears make an aggressive move for a proven impact player like Josh Sweat? Or would you prefer they stay patient and add a cheaper veteran option like A.J. Epenesa instead? So now the question shifts directly to Ryan Poles and the Bears front office. Do you stay patient and trust the current roster? Or do you make one more aggressive move to finally give this defense the pass rush it needs to compete with the top teams in the NFC? Bears fans, I want to hear from you right now down in the comments. Would you trade for Josh Sweat, sign a veteran like A.J. Epenesa, or roll into the season with the group Chicago already has? Let me know your move, because this offseason might be far from over for the Bears.